take this time to put our first meeting of the month. And then you know, we'll public comment after the meeting. Okay? I will do prayer and let Mr. Pray with the prayer. Whatever you do, I take a moment to silence all the things going on in the world. The state is dead. Everything is not good. You depend on the Lord. We got hurricanes, we got fire, we got chaos in the White House, the chaos in the State House, chaos in this house. We just bad everywhere. We didn't come together as one person and do what's right for the people. This country, the state is dead. We need to. It's not time to bed. It's time to come together. Everybody don't know. People around you know things that happen. And the Bible said these things is going to happen. And we need to pray with put our focus on doing wrong. And just do what's right. Let's be a voice for the people this planet. Not just for a certain state, but for all the people. Thank you. With you, Father. Come to purpose that given our hearts. Thank you for all your blessings. You have bestowed in your life. Without you, we couldn't have a conversation. Father, we know we go in this world. Let us be in this world. That's the country of the people. Lord, I pray every journey here. Some of you, Lord, I think your friends as well. I pray they put it all in. Let's look at our mercy. I pray peace, understanding, happiness. Truth and honesty and trust. Please. This past week, we can have mercy. I pray for the Father, I pray for the teachers, I pray for the daily, I just pray for everyone, because we all need prayer. And after all, you're in control. Everything is still done. You can mind. You know all the program.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mr. Chris. Kevin, can you call the roll?
Mr. Michael Cheatham.
Here.
Mr. Kyle Flemington.
Here.
Mr. Dexter Armstead.
Present.
Mr. Richard Oliver. Here. Dr. Chrissy O'Quinn.
Here.
Mr. Keith Mills.
Here.
Mr. Jason McCray.
Present.
Mrs. Kristen Chastain.
Here.
President Lewis Kent.
Here. Any motion to approve the agenda with one addition, please. To amend the precinct 12 change the polling place resolution to reflect the Wilson Day Fire Department and the new location.
We can change the word.
Turn it up, get the name, change the name.
I'll say.
Any more discussion? Bring us some order. Any line in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. First on the agenda is the addition, it's time sensitive, okay? We approve a resolution, sent to the Secretary of State to reflect the new Wilson Village Fire Department as a new location, not the community.
We voted on this last meeting, but what happened, we thought the address was wrong, the address was correct, but they had it at the Wilson Community Center, and instead the community center is going to be at the fire station, was the annex that they added on to it. And then the two buildings are sitting side by side, and they got the right address, but it was the wrong name. And we need to make that resolution tonight to get this done tomorrow. It's kind of like an emergency situation.
We sent to the Secretary of State first thing in the morning.
There needs to be a motion.
Got a motion, second.
No motion,
Get
second.
discussion.
Okay.
Question from the order. You know, all in favor?
Aye.
And opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Mr. McCray.
Thank you.
Old business, adopted minutes from June 17, 2024, regular meeting. Everybody ready?
To accept the minutes from
You want to
Second.
Speaker, Mr. McCray. Good discussion. Question from the audience. Is all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Discuss, take action if deemed necessary on repair of state building road. Is Mr. Peterson? Motion to table.
Motion. Keep coming.
We'll be okay. Discuss, take action on voting precinct still being for option 8550 Highway Avenue. That's what we're trying to say. Gary Chesney.
I think we did get the appraisal, so whatever we did from there.
Some discussion, taking action on it, still being
Do you have a preference whether you want to go the seal bid route or just an auction?
auction.
Unless I knew what the jury.
Still come?
We can do, still bid.
Second.
Second.
You want to discuss? Question from the audience. Is all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. So we're putting up time to see if there's a. You can discuss, take action on driver's request to live in travel trailer at 9756 Plains Road during duration of holiday on this price. Commissioner Matthews.
Yes, sir.
The Commissioner Matthews.
My name is Melissa Price. My husband and I are here to, thank you. My name is Melissa Price. My husband, Jason, and I are here to see if we can get approval to live in a travel trailer while we are finishing our house bid so that we can sell our Zachary house in the process.
So we in the process of building the house, we started already?
They should break ground and build before the end of the summer. We have already demoed the current house that was there, so we're just waiting for our bank to process everything to start the build. Now, we're not looking to live in a travel trailer.
How much time do you think you need?
We were looking to do the travel trailer thing closer to the end of the year, and they said it'd take about 10 months to build our house, so we're looking maybe next June. As far as the move in, so roughly about 6 months.
We'll do it for a year.
A year.
They need
Yeah.
to come back, then we'll come back.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
I'll make that motion.
What about Mr. Miller?
Second.
American Clay.
Thank y'all so much.
If you need more time, please come back when you get extension of
In 1 year.
When
Yes, sir. Thank y'all. Appreciate y'all.
any discussion, question from the audience, and all in favor?
Aye.
And opposed? Motion carries. It's time to discuss, take action on East Feliciana Cody Jury participation in back to school. You take on this one.
So, the drug council is working with, started off at the police jury, we were looking to have an event at the health unit. And we ended up, we had a meeting with the Swan's on for the drug council, and a couple more people throughout the community. I really feel with this event, you all can let me know. I don't know how much you all can actually do. I did have plans to ask Mr. Darrell about some tables, but I know, monetary wise, police jury,
That's what I want. You know, we can have, we can have part of the money. And the other participant, the other person, just can't give more money.
all right. I'll see if there's something, else,
Thank you.
and we do have time on the see if things scheduled for the first Saturday in August. So, one thing.
Okay, want to say anything?
Motion.
I'll have to.
More discussion? Question from the audience, and all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, discuss, take action on request to sell surplus items at auction. I think the same thing came up with the Tennessee auction sale, I can see the bids on the surplus.
So there's some information in your Bible.
There's some information in your binders on the items that I would like to actually sell at the auction. If you all would like to vote on those, maybe separately. It's a 2014.
Frosty, I'm sorry.
With you,
You're here. You're here.
discuss the surplus property being sold or auction off.
Yes, sir, it'll be, two old case motor we have that we don't run, the transmission, messed up down there, been sitting up for years and not really serving any purpose on the yard.
What's wrong with it, Mr. Dawson?
The transmission, they're too expensive to fix. We also have a 2006 Chevy pickup that's really no good. Needs to be gotten rid of, we can't use, we can't drive. It's the only thing wrong with it.
Water. Just water.
Just over water.
Repairing the bucket.
The New Holland tractor is an old piece of machinery, a few, boxes burned up on it. It has a good engine, it was used to run, but we can't use it on the roads, but, it's just taking up space. We had it for a couple of years, and we need to get rid of it. No, it's one of the float ones. Yeah, so it puts it in, but it's one of the older tractors that we had, or one of the first that we had. And we also have some digging buckets that's been here.
I'm sorry.
Oh. When they been purchasing new equipment over the years, they would be purchasing extra buckets. The backhoe buckets, the excavator buckets and stuff like that. And we don't have no use for them, we can't fit our equipment, so there's no need for us to hold on to them either.
In the past, we have taken this equipment to the auction
Yes,
off.
sir.
So what city do you wanna go to? Take the bid on it or take it to the auction?
I like to take it off.
I'll make a motion to do that.
First motion, second, Dr. Quinn, any discussion? Question from the audience, all in favor? Any opposed? Motion carried. Don't need, cause they already.
And I would like to say that maybe some more time, everybody might think I'm negative, but Mr. Frost is doing a good job.
Thank you.
And we have to put the faith in, right on down the line, and, you know, this grader, we've been talking about these graders.
For years.
How long, Mr.
3 years.
You know, a long time, they should have done it, you know, and, so, if it ain't suiting us, we got this, I know this ain't in my wheelhouse, but Mr. Frost will tell you, them New Holland side roads that we got one stage broke down, how much?
More than that's on the road.
And I know we spent a lot of money for it, but it's not gonna work, it needs to go south.
Yes, sir.
And let's get one that will work, because, this man right here will tell you, I got Road Thompson's Lane, they calling in, they can only do so much, but it's got to be cut. You know, it's going over, he can't be graded, people can't come around it because it's a curve in there and a culvert, you know, and so therefore, we either got to cut them or spray them, so it's too late to spray now because everything is grown. So, I just want to commend them for doing the job, I want to recognize that when they need something, hey, let's try to get it
I
done.
agree with you.
Instead of like, you know, we're spraying and we need to pray, and we come together in unity about,
I pray for the every meeting.
let's get unity and quit cherry picking everything. We're here to serve the public and the best, we can't, it's only so much we can do, but we can back this department up to get the public served.
You came into the choir.
Okay, well, I mean, hey, I'm trying to get there, I'm trying to help you.
You were, thank you.
You know.
You got a motion, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Next on the agenda, Mr. Bowden. I'm going back to phone.
Could I ask one thing?
Please.
Mr. Dills, when you get
I'm coming back.
the, final bid in for these different items through auction, Could you keep us updated on that?
That's your thing.
Thank you.
You know, come back, yeah, we got cross discussion that, you know, Smith Gary Road.
Smith Garrett Bridge, I'm still waiting on the contractor to give me the, information for the record. Hopefully he'll be with me up next week. But also me and Ms. Chelsea, we did a cost estimate on the repairs it would take to repair Smith Garrett Bridge, which is in your packets. Total cost with just material, not including equipment, fuel, man hours, comes up to $53,247.09. But at the same time, I know Smith Garrett Bridge needs to be open. I also know it needs to be repaired. But this month and last month, DOT has been inspecting the ones that are open. We have a lot of critical deficiencies on the ones that are open. So we do need to fix those
Before they shut it down.
before they shut down.
I totally agree. Any questions, Mr. Hill?
Try to take what's in the car.
No problem, I don't want to shut it down.
The ones we have are major traffic. We have Midway, we have Line, and we have Gilly Road.
You gotta keep
Those are
those,
the main traffic roads.
Let's keep
Ones that we
those
got
open.
deficiencies for.
you know, we're confident, we try to keep those open.
Yes, sir.
Any questions, Mr. Hill? Thank you, Mr. Hill. Let's go, Mr. Hill, let's take, you know, advertisement for Board Lieutenant, Vice President for Queen, Bureau Center.
No action on number two?
Yes.
We attended a meeting with HGA, and we were advised at that point that if we were to have a hurricane and we had a tremendous amount of damage, let's say we had millions of dollars of damage, there's no way we can afford it. So, and he used the figure $10 million for the damage. Where would we get that money? So he suggested that we get a bond attorney and we put them on retainer, so that if we have the big event, we're not having to scramble to find somebody. We would have somebody that we would have in our pocket, sort of, that we could use. So that's where this comes from, strictly in case of an emergency.
And when she says he, I want to clarify, she's speaking of Billy Boucher from HGA, EI Associates.
Mr. King,
Yes, sir.
since you've been on the jury along with anybody,
30 years.
in those 30 years, how many times have y'all had to go to the bank to get?
Not one time.
Not one time, okay. But so, the bank knows, I mean, we talked about this briefly before we got here. Involving somebody else, maybe that's what the federal government says we're supposed to do, but it's two hometown banks right here in this parish. I mean, right here in this town, that should be able to tell you, parish man, how much money that would be available to us in the emergency of need to borrow money. Does that make sense?
You know, that's just.
A line of credit, I mean, these people get a line of credit, and, it's there, and it should, only attorney would be, close it. Now, maybe the law says we can't do it that way, but I'm just thinking that should be a way we could consider. Without,
Instead of hiring bond attorney.
without going to the
Because
line
first
attorney
thing,
or whatever.
cause first thing people say, you got a bond attorney, get ready to borrow money.
Yeah.
This person, that's in a borrow money, right? Financially, decent state. If the jury won't clearly hire bond attorney up to the jury. But me, myself, no, I'm not in favor of hiring bond attorney on retainer. In case something might happen. This was a research session, might take a minute.
John Rushion. I think what they're talking about for hiring a bond attorney is just like you do with debris removal. It's a contingency. It's a pre-approval, You go through all those steps, so if you need them, you call us, tell them yes. But to answer Mr. Alvo's question, you're a public body, you can't borrow from a local bank. You can't borrow money without going through the bonding commission.
We're very aware of that, but I'm saying, if we're attaining a bond attorney, we're looking to borrow money down the road. It's a future project, not just for the hurricane.
But it's just like
I know what you're saying.
debris removal, you have to have it pre-approved on standby.
We don't need to have a bond attorney. Economically.
Ms. Lewis, we can handle the bond commission. If you need to borrow money, we can handle the bond commission. A bond attorney usually goes that when you want to increase your taxes. So if you want to increase your taxes, go ahead and engage a bond attorney and they can line you up for tax increase, property tax.
We're not increase our taxes.
So to clarify, if we needed to get money, if we have an emergency,
We know which price we're
okay,
doing.
$10 million, okay, we can't afford a $10 million emergency.
But the jury still can try to borrow, we need a attorney to apply for us.
We can apply for the bond. If you need $10 million to bond, you have to dedicate some money to pay that bond back. You know, I don't know how you're gonna dedicate money instead of raising the tax, but a new millage on or something like that. So
Right.
that's the only way you're gonna be able to pay it back. You can't pay it back now. You need a lot of money and you can work it into your schedule. We can talk to the bond commission if you needed to do that. It's not a
We
big
need a
deal.
attorney.
Well, we're just going for what, the way we were advised, so.
Yes, and that's one of the questions I was gonna have, I was gonna ask, but, attorney, I answered it. You know you get a bond, if you borrow $10 million, you know you still have to reciprocate that money back to the county.
Well, the money we got coming in is dedicated money anyway, so you have to find a way to get the money back, and taxes would be, and I'm not interested in that, so.
Well, you know, guys, we sit here say about the taxes, but eventually you don't have to move forward. I know people want to do it, but you know, we talk about roads and stuff, I'm not gonna be long with this comment. When we talk about roads and people say, oh, we got roads, and we say, okay, look, we gotta wait till we get a grant or something here, but at some point, we gotta say, look, we're gonna inch this tax up just a little bit, and you guys see your money work, then you know, tell us not to come back to you ever, but if your money starts to show up on the roads, then, you know, we have to start something eventually. We just can't keep saying, no, 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 it's not taxing for the next 40 years. And unfortunately, you know, it's a hard conversation, but if you want to improve these roads, eventually we'll have to maybe discuss it one day or another, because we just gonna have to, every time we look around, remind them on wrong, I mean, you know, exactly, so you just gotta wait on, you know, getting grants and stuff or what have you. But I understand what you're saying, Mr. Mills, you know, nobody wants to hear about taxes, but, I mean, you go to the grocery store, so I'm not gonna be wrong.
No, I'm not disagreeing with that about the roads, I'm not disagreeing with that at all. Yeah, we can only, when we do roads, we can only do 8 to 10 miles at a time.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying?
And we have about 400 miles of roads in the day.
That's insane, you know? Everything going up with us.
Okay, so what's the change of the jury?
Yep, I'll make a motion.
Yeah, go ahead. No, I just, I don't know enough about this to want to make a yes vote on it anyway. So, I mean, I don't want to take any action on this at this time. That's me.
Okay, motion.
Second.
Any more discussion?
I want to say, in that case, thank you, Mr. DeQuilla, for offering your services and efforts. If this is the direction the jury wants to go, if and when that time comes, we will greatly need your help. So,
Exactly.
thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Hill.
I do want to suggest, we attended a meeting with HGA. We were the only 2 jurors that went. You would have heard some different information, maybe than what we could bring forward to you. When they have those meetings about, once a month?
Yeah, we're gonna have to about once a month.
It's a good time spent. You learn a lot, a whole lot. Just,
I think they should come in and put it in for the jury sometime also, because they don't have none to do. You should come in and put it.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like
to
to
the
know
full
more.
board.
Yeah, I'd like to know
They
more
were here
about it.
presenting to everybody. I think every juror got an invitation or got a notice.
I got it, I have to go back.
Me too, I'm
Well,
looking
it was
at
an
it.
email.
feel good, and I like to see a little feel good, but I want to see some results.
They want to discuss, all in favor? Any opposed? Discuss the public hearing and got floodplain management. You gotta have a floodplain management, you have to go on state guidelines, you have to, you said public hearing and got on floodplain management, or talk to Jeff about it, and you go ahead, say public hearing.
I make a move,
I'll second that.
Discuss it from the audience.
I've got a question.
Yes, sir.
I thought we already had a floodplain management ordinance.
There's a packet in here, and evidently what we had did not meet the
State-
standards.
state from the state.
Who stands?
FEMA.
They notified y'all or something?
Yes,
Yes.
there's a certified letter.
Okay.
Has to be done,
About July.
But you have to.
Yes, time since you brought it.
Right.
very time sensitive.
I make a motion, you made it.
Yes, motion, I'll take all.
I second.
Okay. Discuss public hearing, discuss.
July 15th at 5:30.
You have to take time.
Y'all waiving the 30-day notice
What?
for public hearing on ordinance revisions?
It's already, advertised.
It's advertised before they approve the advertising?
The public hearing is already advertised for the public hearing. You'll see it Wednesday.
One more question. Did they send y'all something in writing, FEMA? Did they look at the ordinance and send y'all a list of, this is what y'all need to, how you need to change it to meet their?
Yeah.
Okay.
Jeff was there with Jeff.
Scott,
He was,
I don't really want to interrupt on that, but, you know, I really appreciate it, maybe y'all could send copies of the ordinances to us so we can review them. You know, if you're gonna introduce it tonight, you're really supposed to have 30 days before to advertise it, to vote on it. You know, they have a public hearing after that. Mr. Biddy was correct on that, but if you can maybe just start sending those ordinances, I think we have something coming up with the subdivision ordinances. I haven't seen anything, so maybe if y'all could do that, it would help.
I totally agree with you. American Plate done these things.
So this letter was mailed out, from FEMA on June 21st. We received it on June 24th. So we know that this is mandatory for us, for the parish to adopt this ordinance. So the only thing that is being advertised is the public hearing date. The ordinance, we'll get it to you, the amendment for the ordinance before the actual public hearing. Jeff is working on getting that done, but I can give you the letter that we received.
Okay.
Well, maybe a copy of the ordinance too, to find out the wording of the ordinance. You know, it's really important
That's
to
what-
know what's included in it.
That's what Jeff is, working on.
Is this something that was done with the previous employee that handled this?
If you read the letter, I believe it's an update. I think it's something that everyone has to have done.
If it's in your binder,
I'm reading on it, I just haven't read it all.
and I see why I think each year should read.
We actually just got it. I mean, you all have not met since that, so in order to meet for everyone to know that a public hearing would be on that day. It's not the actual ordinance, the proposed ordinance. It's just advertising that you all will have a public hearing. We'll get the, email to you soon.
And what it affects are people who want to get flood insurance. And if we don't change this, it says in here, East Feliciana must adopt floodplain management measures such as floodplain management ordinance that meet or exceed the minimum NFIP requirements by July 31st to avoid suspensions from the NFIP. If suspended, your community becomes ineligible for flood insurance through the new NFIP. New insurance policies cannot be sold and existing policies cannot be renewed. So it's absolutely important for the people
And that could be possible, it came through the office before, but Jeff never received it, I never received it, so.
It's my
It
first time.
doesn't
hearing that.
say,
You
final
can't
notice
go
or.
back and do nothing, so the best thing
Right.
to do is act on it now, and then do what you can do. You can't go back and change time.
That's why we have people running the out with their affairs. You got people in place to run it. The president, freedom money also. You need to know this time. This is time sensitive. You can take care of.
This is obviously saying the July 31st deadline, I see like this stuff would have been.
This has been going on a long.
Yeah, that's what
You always do that.
The last 90 days, probably going on for the last 6 months, years.
Okay, now, public hearing is, what's the motion?
And public hearing July 15th.
Yeah, we already got.
Any more discussion? None in favor? No opposed? Motion carries. Let's go to the amended staff report. Executive on the state this again, all the jurisdictions, I think I'm one also. We need to get our agenda, read our agenda, and check our emails. When you come to make a rational decision, just read your agenda. They send everything out that you need to know when you send it out.
But I don't think this is on the agenda for this certain circumstance, but I agree.
What for the ordinance?
She's talking about the.
This letter, we wouldn't have known anything about this. We couldn't. Have we read this, it's not gonna tell us anything that was given in our action today. You can read that agenda all day, but it doesn't tell me anything on the paper.
Yeah, you wouldn't have received that because it's, day-to-day operations. I mean,
The day
for us to get
operation.
it to you all to.
Right, I mean, I agree, I'm saying there's nothing.
You would have, yeah.
We need to push it. Let's still get out the rest of the thing.
But we can.
Okay, move on. Personnel committee, Dr. Crystal Cole.
We do have a meeting tomorrow at 5:30, to hopefully to finish the parish manager job description and to begin looking at the treasurer and the financial department's job description. So, there we go.
Finance committee, Ms. Kyle Crystal.
I have two items. Item A is, I make a motion to approve monthly invoices.
Any discussion? Close the order. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
And item B is discuss, take action on Finance Committee recommendation to accept proposal from Falk and Winkler for accounting/financial services. I will say that I am a little confused about this, because talking with Ms. Harris previously, she told me that we did not have an advertisement and/or did not have additional applicants for this beyond Falk and Winkler. And I thought we as a jury had said we wanted at least two additional.
I heard those minutes, y'all requested to get at least 3 or 4 people to send a RFQ, not RFP, but RFQ for a quote. I heard that clearly in the meeting when I listened to it. So, did we ever receive anything back since that meeting?
I received one letter, one that don't want it.
Okay.
But nothing saying, no one saying that they did, is that correct? Did our discussion go, as I'm understanding it? No one
So
else?
I did not attend that meeting, and as far as I'm aware of, the parish manager has spoken with almost every juror about this. This is not his item to go back on the agenda. The president and the vice president did agree that it could go back on the agenda after the meetings or the conversations with the parish manager. I did not personally send anything to a paper for advertisement. I just know that a conversation was had with the jurors. The president and the vice president said it was fine for it to go back on the agenda, and that's what
Right back on. But I think it one left and one coming, not will be part of it.
I understand, I'm just trying to understand, because I thought when we left, we were gonna get other firms, whether through the official journal or through reaching out to others. And we have none of that, and I think that's a problem, so, I don't know, I mean,
If we're not gonna approve it, if we're not gonna vote, we need to table it.
We table it.
Give the parish manager an opportunity to be working.
I'll make a motion to table.
You want discussion?
yeah, and I just wanna make clear that we're asking for the parish manager to either formally advertise in the journal or to reach out to additional firms, at least 2 additional beyond Falk and Winkler.
I totally agree.
A letter, somebody said they don't want it.
A letter, terminating their agreement.
Services already.
So we would be without a financial advisor.
So they presently, they no longer, was there a date they were gonna terminate with us, the ones that we have now?
Today.
Today is the day.
And Mr. Quilly, you said that it would be okay if we did, I want to get this straight too, if we didn't advertise, but somebody had to reach out to these other people to see if they were interested, is that?
Yeah, I
To
would
get a
say-
quote from them, or?
I would just say ask somebody else for a quote, but you're kind of running out of time now.
We are, we are.
That's what I say.
We are, no,
So I don't think you have a lot of options now, I mean.
we don't have an option.
Well,
But we have to know
Continue at the next
do
meeting.
something.
And that's, I think, what I have the biggest problem with, is that I know what we said in previous meetings, I was sitting at this table, and evidently that didn't get done, and so here we are in a bad situation. I'd like to see this addressed. I don't know what the jury wants to do. If you want to ask, I guess we're gonna ask to see some more firms' applications.
We gonna talk to Mr. Allen?
I think there was already a conversation with, Mr. Amron.
We know what he wants.
I mean, no, after the last meeting with some of the jurors, the most of the jurors, and I don't know if anyone, you haven't spoken? No, about the.
But I think, just to piggyback off this, Kyle, here, I think what he's really looking for is this thing to be official, advertising in the journal. So it won't be like it's, we won't have an opacity here where people don't know about it.
Well, I mean, even at this point, I would just, to satisfy Mr. Sam and the legal side, I
Yeah,
would at
that's
least
what I'm
like to
saying.
reach out. If we can't do it due to the duration of time, at least reach out and get some other firms to compare. I just don't want to choose the first one that comes along.
So,
It doesn't have to be an advertising, it can be
We can just reach
a
out.
reach out for from other companies.
To him and have him reach out. And you all have to know what you all want from a financial advisor.
So that proposal, I will need it back again. The proposal from Park and Winkler, we'll need it back again, but, I mean, the jurors will need to know what you're asking for with the financial advisor.
But at the present moment, we don't have the financial advisor.
Yeah, so, I guess that, I don't know if that'll go back to your, that you're gonna. Yeah.
At the present, we don't have a financial advisor. Come back with the thing.
Debbie Kemp, is it possible to retain the current, or the company that's handling it now on like a quarterly basis?
No,
Give you
exactly.
time to get this,
No, they retired.
okay, I don't know how long your contracts go for or anything like that, but that would be the quick solution, if they would agree to stay for 3 months or whatever.
No.
Okay.
Got a question for the jury, and I don't know if I'm following anything. Is there any way we can maybe get this expedited and move quick on this, so we're not,
Like kind of for the next meeting?
is it possible, if that's something the jury, we need to move?
I think we need to, I mean, me personally, I think we should have voted on it, and it's, you know, it's just like, hey, now we talk about a bond attorney, now we talk about the most important part of our business.
Legal time,
You know.
political time.
I think it's critical that we get somebody, I agree, and that's why I asked Ms. Harris to at least give Mr. David first thing in the morning, and if necessary, even to have it addressed before the end of the week. I know it's holiday coming up, but I mean, if he can get some results, we could have some sort of meeting between now and the holiday. I mean, I'm not against that. Right.
I know it's complicated.
Yeah.
And I guess we should reach out to, them to see if they're still interested, because this is the second time it's appeared on the, not mentioning coming to the first week.
Okay, we both not taking action until we get further action from, President. Motion? Second. All in favor? Any opposed? First thing in the morning, sir. Okay, public work and equipment.
Only thing I had, I think, we're getting ready to start our overlay project on July 15th. And we all been waiting on that, so that's a good thing. That's all I.
Being private, Mr. Richard Allen. Administrative now.
I don't have anything.
Homeland Security, Mr. Darrell Hill.
We should wrap up tomorrow with the last of the debris we gotta pick up. Most of it has been burned. As soon as they come in, we're burning it. We'll still have to come back, shuffle through the wood, finish burning it, and take the ash. We're gonna dispose it on the land and till it up, and all that will be finished with the April and the May, storms.
So you saying that the three people are last days tomorrow?
Yeah, we should wrap up, because we're in the, Bluff Creek area tomorrow.
Cause I got people still calling from Lake Shore, and they've been waiting for weeks and weeks for people to pick up this stuff and.
Right through Lake Shore right now, it's gone. We come in yesterday morning and we met just about everybody.
Yesterday, day before yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Check Facebook now. Hey, they're happy out there.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Right. They all come out to us. Oh, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Mr. Bill, also said, I said, we're gonna pick the debris up on South,
Yeah.
Franklin South, but we did pick it up.
Yeah, we got it. We got that one taken care of. It was complicated, but they were able to get it done.
I made somebody that knew accused me of saying, I didn't know whether you were picking up.
Right.
Which he was lying.
To let y'all know, we've been having trees come down every day. I thought today would be our first day, and my wife just texted me, the Bluff Creek area is out of power. It's down by McKnight Road, there's a tree on the line that come down, so we still averaging, the day before yesterday in the storm, we had 3 trees come down in the parish.
Mr. Gill, I talked to you about 20 Wilson Road, those big old trees.
Yeah.
We supposed that guy, but you said the parish manager said we wasn't gonna get him.
Parish
He was gonna get
manager
him.
said he was gonna take care of that,
You can't do
so
it. You don't have equipment to
I
get it.
didn't worry about it. We went to, Lake Shore, and we come in there yesterday morning and started on it. We wrapped it up today.
Yes,
We'll be doing McKnight, finished up Beneke just a little while ago when I left to come here, and Bob Jones was finished. So we still got a couple little roads out there. McKnight Road is one, Genola Road, and Niso. Those 3 roads should just about do us for the
Yeah,
parish.
but some wasn't, got some big,
Oh, I
big
know.
trees on
We had some on Beneke Road, and the machine, the roots were still in the ground, and we could not pick them up.
there. Mr. Crawford, have you been okay, Wilson? If you cannot get that degree off, it's just too big. It's dangerous.
Right.
And we got around, say, we're gonna get it, so.
Go ahead.
I spoke to Mr. Allen Johnson, he came out and assessed the trees, he gave us a quote. I sent it in, just waiting on approval to get it picked up. Mr. Billy said it can be reimbursed. I talked to Mr. Darrell about it.
Cause we was gonna pick it up.
Yes, sir.
And I want to say, Mr. Darrell, just for your knowledge, they were working on collecting on decent roads. I came to meet this evening, so they were still working almost to dark this evening.
Yeah, 'cause we were doing, Bob Jones, because they actually had a big old limb that blocked the entire road. And I sent my guys on over there. He just went over there with his truck, cut the tree out, got it out of the road so they could come today and pick it up. So we didn't have to call anybody out to repair, it's just to go out there. And that was Saturday.
But Mr. Hill, we did expedite clean work, it's dangerous, I've been down that road,
Oh, yeah.
it's dangerous.
Yes, sir.
We should have it cleaned up, yeah, they don't do it, we couldn't do it.
Yes, sir.
You want questions for Mr. Hill? I want to compliment you, done a great job.
This is the same crew we had come in April. I requested them because they did good the last time. They knew the parish already. We went to the same site out on 959. I met with another subject. We met with them Saturday morning for a debris site over here on 10 West of Clinton out there. So if we do get, we're planning on, if we get hit by a major hurricane, instead of having to haul everything from Norwood, Wilson, all the way over here to 959, we can have a site here and have a site over there, so we can work with the sites and all on it, and have 2 sites where we'll haul it in and burn it.
You have any say
Yeah.
in mind?
Yeah, we already looked, I brought, Brent out there, we looked at it, we gotta get with, Mr. Hall with Helios to come in and do the environmental impact on it, to make sure it's a good site. We looked at it, we have to do a little bit of work on the road for the series to take care of that, and the homeowner already offered to do most of that already.
Talk to her, like, if you want to.
Yeah, yeah, so that's, we've been looking, it's just hard to find an area big enough to do it.
I think the place that you told me.
Yeah, yeah. And Wright has took about, probably, well, it took one big long row out, which is about a third of it, or not quite a third, quarter to a third of the old debris that we've been having there at the, debris site, and they burn it. So they're hauling about 24 to 25 loads a day over, along with the Redwood Creek, because they behind y'all's house right now working back there on that, Chris. And so there shouldn't be but a few more weeks, they'll be through with Redwood Creek project.
I would request each year to go to the burn site and see what's really going on.
Oh, yeah.
Probably somebody with the burn site even located.
Yeah.
Just put out there.
Because we'll be there tomorrow burning, and you'll see, hey, one of the trucks is like 93 cubic yards, and the other one's 90. So we're hauling a lot out at one time, hey, around the parish. And those guys are doing good, they keep it burning, as soon as they get it in, they put it on the pile, and keeping it hot going. We've had a couple of issues with rain, getting wet, getting stuck, but we got the excavators, I got some straps, we were pulling them out, and they were back picking up on the roads. So,
Any more questions, Mr. Bureau? Okay, commission board for planning dollars. Motion to approve. A, 2, D.
A second.
vote through the prayer.
Mr. Dexter Armstead,
Yes.
Mrs. Kristen Chastain,
Yes.
Mr. Michael Cheatham,
Yes.
Mr. Kyle Flanagan,
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Jason McCray,
Yes.
Mr. Keith Mills,
Yes.
Mr. Richard Oliver,
Yes.
Dr. Chrissy O'Quinn,
Yes.
President Louis Campbell.
Mr. President?
Look, I want that to for this board. We look to come to the record, that's what, anything you don't know. Mr. George Turner came, we actually played some on it, then come back to play it another, but it never was on the agenda, it never was that good. And we put it back to play it on, he came back to play it on, we do like it, but
What?
it's a map or something, you take it correctly on.
So, Mr. Turner has a map, the last thing I knew about it was Mr. Turner had a map that there was a discrepancy, he has some property that,
Right.
we've also seen the map in, that he's basically claiming that's his property. It's a disagreement among surveyors, but it's a civil matter that we can't be addressed in, where there's not a tremendous amount of property, but it's 25 foot wide down to a narrow spot. That needs to be addressed, or we need a map without that property on it before we can address it. We can't sit there and argue on it and basically approve a map to give somebody else.
But the real question will come back to you,
I haven't seen it come back. I saw it, 2 months ago, something
you
like
think
that.
from the coming to your record, will come back to play it on. If you're real, you say it, go back to play it on.
Well, and we saw it and asked that he had it corrected. That's the last time we saw it a month ago, not this past month, but the month before.
Right.
And we asked that he had it correct, I think it was the month before, and we haven't seen it back since then. I mean, if he brings it back, we're still gonna be kinda in the same spot if he hadn't had it corrected, that we can't really do anything with it. You know, if he wants to bring it, it still says we can bring it and look at it, but I
The
can't.
secretary was putting on the agenda, because he said he was on, he did it last month, a month before the, a couple of months.
It's been a couple months now.
Yeah, a couple of months.
I have not actually seen the map, so I don't know. But
I just want to everybody fast and regular, everybody good fast.
well, I mean, but it still comes, has his map, have you looked at his map?
No,
Is that
no,
correct?
we going back to look, yeah, correct.
The last one we saw was not correct.
That's right. I've seen the map twice, that does not take into effect the property coming from across the road. And like I asked him the last time, I said, we bring the map back to us, but we don't need to keep seeing the map.
They're not correct.
Right, because I mean, we run into the issue that you have him here, you have all the other people here, you end up with a room full of people having a discussion that they're trying to take property, and all we're kind of doing is upsetting the whole apple cart with everybody. And it's as simple as moving this line over, or having the surveyors address the property line issue. But if you're surveying to the road, and then I turn around and our commission approves a map that basically gives them the property, then there comes an issue that there's two conflicting maps.
Yeah, we did
One
say-
that we're involved in.
We just take it to civil, right, that's the thing, we're ready to the full board. And the 2 months ago.
So the bottom line, he has not presented, even, just take the point out, he's not on the agenda. Has he even tried to come and say, hey, look, I have a corrected map, does he bring, okay, that's what he needs to do.
Yeah, we told him that.
Okay.
Right. I mean,
So regardless of he's on the agenda, it's not trying to bring the map.
Yeah, right.
And say, hey, guys, here's my corrected map. Look at
He still
the-
got to do it, yes.
So he doesn't have that yet.
Mr. Lucian, when did George Turner first, I was on planning and zoning, I did his, going in my 5th year, and that's probably, he's been fooling this for probably 7 years, is that pretty close?
The beginning of the term, not this term, but my last term is when he.
And because it's just, he just keeps doing the same thing.
He did come to the last planning and zoning meeting though, right?
No.
Yeah, he came early.
Okay.
He was standing, he didn't come to the meeting itself. He was standing, speaking to his, I'm lost her name right now, the lady that works front desk. They were sitting there speaking when I walked his hat, when I walked through the door. And he didn't say anything about it. I know he was here, and Ms. Pat said that he was expecting to be on it, but I don't think he ever brought anything for y'all to put it on it, you know, I don't think it ever went there.
He needs to be aware that he has it, what he needs for his map, you know, just like we can vote, like you guys did, and put in additional
Turner has brought in a map since 2 months ago, when we told him that he needed to correct it. It's, first of all, this map he brought in couldn't be advertised because it wasn't correct. He has a servitude running across somebody else's property, and without that person signing off that servitude there, you can't put a servitude through somebody's property without their knowledge or their signature saying it's okay. He reconfigured his map to get 4 lots on the servitude, but he never addressed the boundary line on the east side, which was up to contention, which is why it got disapproved the last time. So those 2 issues right there, the servitude going across somebody else's property and not fixing the original problem, is the reason it wasn't advertised and the reason it wasn't on the agenda.
It makes it not a valid map.
And
Till it gets fixed.
He did come into the office today, I did not see him, but, received a public records request.
But our job is to work with everyone, tell them what they need to do to correct this problem. We don't make a decision, we have to get corrected, and tell them what they need to do. Because I know in the past, some people come to the planning zone, come to you, every time they come, they have a different thing they have to do every time they come. That's all I'm saying.
No, that's not how it happened. I sit in your same spot right there, and I explained to him.
I was at that meeting.
Once you bring this back, it needs to have this addressed, whether it's a civil, and we talked, was that civil, or who has to deal with that? We all deal with it? No,
No,
sir,
no,
that's
no,
your
no.
responsibility to deal with it. You can get with other landowners, surveyors, have discussions, whatever, and bring it back with the lot line discrepancy dealt with. And that's where we left it, and that's where it's sitting. You know, there's nothing we can really do with it until, I have no problem looking, we look at sometimes we look at 12 maps, sometimes we look at 2. It's not a problem to look at the maps. It's, they gotta be within the rules and where
But
everybody falls.
he just voiced his concern, why he was on the, why he wasn't making it.
And the map deadline is today.
Anybody ask me a question, go ahead, don't care who it was. Yo, I'll look for you.
Can I have a minute, just a second,
Yes,
to table
yes,
something or
yes,
last?
sir, yes, sir.
So we table, ordinance change,
For
so our next-
the last time.
for lot size, under a couple of questions. There was some discussion about 1 and 2 acre lot sizes. Whether bringing our large subdivisions to 2 acre lot sizes, bringing our small subdivisions, are we gonna address it on the, do we need to address it on the line of the 4 lot servitude type stuff, or what? One thing, brought police jury members to us. So what is your idea there? Or we also need to run it in front of our legal advisor first to see where what issues, other issues are gonna fall into. Is there ground to stand on, we do only our large subdivisions, don't do our small ones? Does that come into a legal issue when somebody comes in and wants to do a large subdivision and says, hey, you let them do it, why can't I do it? We sit in court arguing over something like that. We all get called in over it. It also comes into some conversation pieces where you get into the familiar divide. Some places you go to have familiar divide that addresses, that you can't go that small. You have familiar divide, you go into, to the undivided interest in the properties. It's some of those things, and I'm in the belief, and most of our board that are legal advisor, and just kind of a little bit of clarification if you want them to address it on all those levels, instead of just the major subdivisions. The way it was brought to us was just 1 acre on major subdivisions, basically. And I think we had a discussion on 2. What are your thoughts? That's what I'm asking. Guess I'm asking for planning and being.
He wants to go to 20 a lot.
Well, and I understand 2 acre lots, and there's some value to 2 acre lots or barns. So I don't say that I disagree with that, so don't, but what other items do we implicate as far as if we drop 2 here, won't really make an issue on our zoning issues itself, but does it come in and affect, well, do we need to, go into our 4 lot servitudes and stuff like that, and bring them to 2 acres as well, and some of our other items that need to be addressed?
Because right now, if someone give a thing with the 12,500, if someone give that, we yards, you got to be 2 acres, they can't give it away to their own children.
They can't give it away to their own children. You're also running into some of, just for conversation, you're running into some of those issues too, even on when somebody has 6 or 7 kids at 4 acres too, or 3 acres, you know, so we hit it every way. You know, there's no clear way around it. I think we need to make a decision as a board of what we want to see happen, you know, because you get into some areas in the parish and you're getting chopped down so tight that things are starting to get kind of disorganized, you know, and like I said, I'm not opposed. I mean, look, if we could all go to, and everybody own 10 acres at a time, it'd be great, you know what I'm saying? We'd all be on the road with 2 horses in the yard, you know what I'm saying? But it would be, that's unrealistic, but where do we want to do a break? And I understand that the general consensus of the community, and some people may disagree with me here, but is that we wanted to stay rural, and we all grew up in the country, and we want to stay rural, and we don't want a whole other community popping up in the middle of the neighborhood, which is something in the middle of the country that is something that is being discussed, and you have some large developers that are starting to look at very large pieces of property.
Want to chop it up?
No, for entire communities, you know, and you're in the building business, you know, you've got some big ones that are willing to come in and put schools in and do the whole thing, and it won't affect, no matter, nothing that we say will affect anything that you're sitting out there, you know, unless we come in prepared for it. So, where were you headed originally with it? And that's what I'm asking. We've done a public hearing, we have to come in and make a recommendation.
So when you and I spoke, it was in reference to the large subdivision, which I believe was where we had originally sent this to you as a board to review. Not to say, I wouldn't be against you to review elsewhere, and I do understand with the family that we might want to exclude that because, you know, it'd be like if you had a son or anyone else here, daughter, or anyone. So we might want to exclude that unless there's some way it's just by default implicated, but definitely the large, and then I would even look at some of the smaller ones too. And I guess you and I's discussion as well went to percentages. So maybe there's 25% of the development would be, and these are random percentages, but 25% would be under that 2%, and then 75 would be the 2, or whatever. Maybe some breakdown of that is kind of what I had in mind. I didn't want to say one size fits all, because you have people that want different price points, they want different types of housing, they want different size yards. You don't want to limit them to that degree, but
So in other areas where they do have lot size restrictions and those items, you turn around and you have communities that do come in and develop big, that turn around and substitute for green space. They put parks and this items, and then they put quarter acre lots in the front of the subdivision or whatever, but you have to have green space to make up the volumes and all that stuff.
Right.
So I mean, those things can be discussed. Those are probably items you could discuss on a per instance type deal. So if I bring it back to the commission, or when the commission discusses it in a month or so, we'll discuss it on the basis of the large subdivisions and the servitude style subdivisions that we're doing with 4 lots on the subdivision. Okay.
I would like to say that I have asked for, I'm thinking, when I first come into this job, it was discussed about moratorium. I was totally against the moratorium. But now, right now,
It's getting a little tight.
6 months, within the next 6 months, that'll be 65 lots, and 6 months behind that, another 65, 6 months behind that, another 65. Now, growth is good, it's damn right. Now, out there where all these houses at, we up here know that the garbage is picked up is by sales tax.
Yeah.
Those people are not buying a car, you're not spending no money in Eastville, they're going to Zachary, they're going to Franksville. So therefore, we don't have a garbage tax, so they're coming to get our cheap property tax, to live in our parish. And not all of them is gonna go to school, and my concern, like, I'm concerned about all the schools, but Slaughter School's a great little school, it's jam-packed, they can't take no more, so where you gonna send them? You know, so, and then the water issue, we got issues with the water. We just approved the RV park. Now, everybody, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you, I was instrumental in requesting some fire prevention that was needed, and they've agreed to it. So, when we start approving these new subdivisions, all these retention ponds, that dry socket, they ain't worth 10 cents to me. They all should put in a high-pressure pump. There should be the same amount of hydrants, it's just like it would be in the city. And when you have a fire, somebody runs back there and flips the switch, they all liven up. If you got a house down the street, you need to hook up to the fire, boom, go hit the switch, they're gonna provide water. So it's a lot of things we've been leaving out that we gotta go to. But for right now, addressing the housing needs to be, and I didn't think I'd ever say this, but if you wanna slow it down, you wanna get hands on it, it's 2-acre lots, just for the new subdivisions. And the people that's, Lewis, look, I got a 1-acre front yard, I cut grass on it, and I got 2 kids. They ain't never coming back to me, but I'm trying to get everything split up as to where, hey, it's done. Now, and it's, in my subdivision, it's been a couple of things, went to 1,250, 12,000, you know, so I would, that can be worked on, but the new subdivisions immediately needs to go to at least 2 acres, and then you'll slow up what's coming till you can get a handle on, because without these people coming in, without businesses out there by me, I've talked to some developers, hey, build us a park. They're gonna block out a corner for a store, for a, community deal. But somebody's gotta want to come in and do that. And so, we get some sales tax besides, I have one constituent, I might have told the story in here. I got a call over there and got myself just tore plumb up over somebody else's drain. Come to find out, he had about a 15-foot strip from his house to the street that was in East Feliciana. His house is in East Baton Rouge, and we're picking up his garbage. So now, what's that sound like? It ain't right. But I'm not just preaching. I'm just saying to like Mr. Mills, he's got the bill thing of parenting. He's kind of boxed in over there.
Look at my text message on my phone, I'll show you how good I am.
But I'm,
No, I
you know what I'm talking
about.
about.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about. So I'm just saying, for the good of the parish for right now, we need to address it on the new subdivisions coming in, kind of slow them up and give us plenty of time to work on any changes.
There's a lot of things that, our ordinances are not horrible by any means, but a lot of things need to be reviewed and updated. You have stuff that was put in the 80s, when all this stuff was originally, or I guess early 90s, all this stuff was boxed together, some of that stuff still sits. I would love if by chance, I know there's been a couple times to have a review that there were community boards that reviewed, but if we could actually start pushing something, like genuinely pushing something, whether the engineer starts reviewing it, an engineer firm that works for y'all has somebody that spent time when Ascension Parish was going through all their problems 10, 12 years ago. I don't know who's familiar with Ascension Parish area, but you go to Ascension Parish and you'll drive down the road and you have a $600,000 house and a house trailer park wrapping around it, and then a $600,000 house. So they had a lot of zoning issues. One of the individuals that works for the engineering firm spent time on that planning and zoning board. I've spent some time having discussions with them and stuff like that over the things that need to be changed. I would love to be able to see us start pushing in the direction to start cleaning up some of the very same developers that they dealt with down there, or who have started developing on the end of our parish. And those people aren't our biggest problems. It's when you turn around and you see a Horton or somebody big like that, they're gonna come down and decide, we're gonna put houses, and we're gonna do a school, and we're gonna put 7,000 8,000 acres on into the parish. And you have property that's gonna come up for sale before long. They title search, I know that from somewhere else, they title search two of the properties pretty seriously, that are big properties, that will sell eventually over there.
And to kind of put it to ease, to Mr. Kent talking about, you know, that's why we need to address the major subdivision first. The first piece of property that was developed off of that plantation out there, they're 5 acre lots. And they sold like hotcakes. And it's not, I mean, majority of people.
When
I know where money comes from,
when
but it's fine.
those people came instead of 5 acre tracts from $25,000 a acre. Now, when I could people afford that much land, they get a house. I always wonder how they happen.
Different people.
They all got houses.
Yeah, I just wonder how they do it.
So anyway, by virtue of, I'm the fastest growing district, I would really consider, I would really like to consider 2 acre lots. And any of this stuff, we can change somewhere down the line. But instead of you saying, hey, we got a moratorium in East Feliciana Parish, and then they mad at you, and me twice, you just put 2 acres on there, and that's gonna slow it up.
That's for new development.
New development.
So you go down road, they want to give a child a lot.
So we'll address our new developments. New developments of any manner being the large subdivisions and the servitude type of subdivisions. We'll put it on both of them. Okay? That sounds great. We'll have a discussion. We'll bring y'all a recommendation, and we'll get something drawn up for y'all to take a look at and see if we're not gonna shoot ourselves in the foot doing this. So,
I'm not afraid of progress, I'm for progress, I don't want to hurt the poor people who did
no,
not.
well, and that's the discussion.
What's the poor people?
Properties get expensive here. It's ridiculous. If you hit a 2 acre lot, you're looking at $60,000 easy right now. And it starts pricing everybody out from the parish. So there's gonna be things that happen. You know, you look at some other places and you have development against towns, and the towns themselves have small lots because you can offer services and sewers and the gas stations right now, or the convenience store down the road, and everything's right there close to them. But you try to keep your rules, because if you go out there and you have small lot development in rural areas, we can't provide services of any bulk amount. Water company can't provide the gas, the fire department can't go out there and manage a apartment complex in the middle of nowhere, you know? There may not be water out there, there may not be all those different items, you know?
We're gonna lose part of our rate this year because we don't have the water. Hey, his district, they feed off of 952 out Port Wilson, that's the closest well to them. Because we lost the well on 964, we lost the well on Bluff Creek. They both sanded in.
Mr. Jackson, you're doing that for new development.
Okay, we'll look at all new developments, we'll recommend that, and I wish y'all would consider working, I mean, I know there's a lot of expertise in that engineering firm that can help get this pushed in a direction. I don't know where cost is, that's something for y'all to discuss in those items, and they start chipping, I mean, I don't mind, there's other people who are on our board that don't mind sitting and spending time and having discussions with them, and start chipping towards some tightening some things up as a whole, make it a lot better for all of us, I believe, so.
Could we get you in touch with the individuals you need to help review that? I mean, would that be something you need our blessing to reach out to them, or you have the authority to?
I would need blessing now, I guess. I did it. It was shut down once, so. I was shut down once. So.
Well, I definitely want you to have,
blessing. So.
I definitely want you to have all the information and contacts you need, so.
I mean, I have the contacts, and we sat and moved. I mean, there's nothing not transparent about it. I've been down there twice, sitting and just slowly kind of walking through where, and he's been explaining to me where he thought issues were, and it's in much better condition than what I think we think as a whole. It's just very small items that need to be squeezed up and tightened up and processed and things like that. I mean, it's not horrible, so you gotta watch where some things can be done, and that's where we're leaving some things open where real easy, if it wasn't a few times for public dissent, we would have apartments where we can't service them. You know, I've seen that in one case, so I mean, some of those things.
Thank you.
We can discuss, we have a business, reach out to whoever need to reach out.
Thank you.
We're not going to interview.
Thank you.
I'm gonna tell you, I'm not afraid of growth, I'm a smart growth.
Well, no. And look, y'all, most of y'all know where I come from. It was growth. I came from big development. I don't wanna see our town and our community have the place that I come from. And we didn't do quite as bad as Zachary, but it was bad, you know, and it took over 10 years to get it caught, because once it started running, it was wide open, and so it was, but, thank y'all.
Thank you, Mr. Kent, for letting him.
I appreciate it. Thank y'all.
Okay. Next on the agenda, public comment.
I have one thing. East Feliciana Parish Health Unit Family Health Fair, July 20th, 10 o'clock a.m. to 1 o'clock p.m. Immunizations and immunization records, blood pressure screenings, height and weight measurements, connection for Medicaid and SNAP, appointment scheduling. That's on July 20th from 10 to 1 at the Parish Health Unit.
Public comment. Would you like to take the name, please? Okay.
John Rushar. First thing I want to address is the FEMA floodplain thing. We haven't had a floodplain manager in this building since Russ Hicks passed away. Nobody's been certified. I would venture to guess that that final notice is not the only notice FEMA's sending into the room. I'm sorry if it didn't get overlooked, but we've been trying to get this addressed since, 3 parish managers ago. You have somebody that, right now, that has no floodplain background. FEMA's drawing you a line, and now you gotta jump through hoops to get it done by 30 days from now, which is crazy. There was another thing came up tonight, this short fuse. He was told, you brought it up, Kyle, he was told last week, or 2 weeks ago, get some more quotes. Still trying to get that one quote through. Somebody's not listening. It was said at a public meeting. You're right. He was told.
Yeah, we're not here to bash you.
I'm not. But what I'm getting to point is it's not running.
And he does not approve the agenda. That is not his item to go on the agenda.
Can I finish?
Yes, finish speaking. Let just finish when you speaking.
Okay. The other thing that came up tonight, you're talking about the change in the ordinance. Josh is absolutely right. We're 35 years old, but there's been 3 revisions on the subdivision ordinance alone put on the table for the jury. When y'all asked for a moratorium 3 years ago, those 3 revisions have come in and you've not acted. For whatever reason. Nobody pushed it. The agenda didn't get approved. It didn't get put back on the agenda. Understand something. Ordinances are living documents. We're 35 years old. It's stagnant. It's dead. The change we have now will not be the last change. The new change, it keeps rolling. But you've got to get better at processing the revisions that come before you. Because now you're into a spot to where you got a big developer wants to come in here and build something we don't want. And that's all I'm saying is we have got to get a handle on it. You've got to get a handle on it because you're the elected 9. We only have a shot every 4 years to change.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For the comment,
Mr. King?
yes, sir, Mr. Alva.
I would like to say that on Friday, I attended a meeting in Jackson at the Civic Square. Mr. Turner. Now, Owen Evans was there, myself, and the Housing Authority, and since we approved it, allowed them to come, they've given their spiel. So the spiel that George gives, Reverend Turner gives us here was different than the spiel that they're giving over there. And so, but it's already in progress. But I did address that George, Reverend George, should have had some more public input before it got to us. So everybody would fully understand what the housing authority really does. And it was a room full of people, and it was people with a room full of hope. That basically, I think most of them thought they was gonna come there and be handing out checks to buy a house. That's not how that works. You know, so anyhow, I would just like to say that when there's any other meetings that somebody else attends besides me, and so we can keep a handle on it, because the housing authority runs hand in hand with what he's talking about over there. Somebody coming in and putting in $200,000 or $150,000 homes that's affordable, and first thing you know, you got 500 homes in one spot, and the parish can't handle it, schools can't handle it. You got people quitting being teachers, they don't have enough to start off with, and I mean, I don't know about y'all, but I like good fresh water, and the water's overtaxed, and so anyhow, I just wanted to let y'all know I did go to the meeting. I don't know whether anybody else got a notice to go, but I was there. And one of the reasons I was there, because I had somebody call me up, and you talking about that email. I got tightened up, so I had to go. Yeah, I did. And then that person wasn't even there. But anyway, I just think that I ain't gonna say we need to keep an eye on it, we just need to keep aware of what to do. And like I said, my fear was a lot of people, I think they thought they were gonna come there and it was gonna be passed somehow.
It's a process, it don't happen like that.
Okay, any more public comment? Everybody kind of work their room. What's up?
Just all, or any of y'all, if y'all
Have stuff.
that y'all want, or think we need to go to, let us know. I have no problem. I'm pretty available to be able to go to stuff like that. If you need us, just let us know, any of y'all. We'll go. Thank y'all.
The next time Reverend George has something, we need to run it through here.
That's all.
I knew about it, I had another point I couldn't do, but I mean, I knew what happened, though. I was when I got
we got rated up. Now we're doing about 275.
I'm good, how are you?
And we have to close 500 GPUs. We gotta come out of dry hydrants to get